The Strait of Hormuz stands as one of the most critical passages on Earth, a narrow corridor through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply moves each day. Just 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, it carries nearly 1/5 of globally traded oil, making it one of the most strategically sensitive choke points in modern geopolitics. Any disruption here would not remain regional. It would ripple across global markets, economies, and energy security, earning the strait its reputation as the jugular vein of humanity. This strategic weight is not new. The waters that define the Strait of Hormuz lie along the edge of lands once ruled by the Persian Empire, a civilization that for centuries held influence across vast territories. Today, Iran remains at the center of this geography, where history, power, and modern geopolitics converge in a space shaped equally by human ambition and geological forces. Scattered across and around this narrow passage are a series of islands: Hormuz, Qishm, Larak, Hangam, Kish, Lavan, and the uninhabited Shidvar, each carrying its own story of survival, adaptation, and constraint. Together, they form a living landscape where global energy flows meet local realities. Hormuz Island sits at the very heart of this passage, both strategically vital and geologically extraordinary. Formed as a 600-million-year-old salt dome, the island displays more than 70 mineral shades across its terrain, from crimson cliffs to silver-black beaches and deep purple canyons. Despite its global importance, the island's approximately 3,000 residents receive little direct economic benefit from the oil that passes through its surrounding waters. Instead, they live with the consequences of a landscape that is both beautiful and limiting. The mineral-rich soil, while visually striking, renders groundwater undrinkable, forcing reliance on imported water supplies. Life on Hormuz is increasingly strained. Fishermen face declining catches as fish stocks are affected by industrial trawling and rising sea temperatures. Traditional practices, such as the extraction of red ochre, are now restricted, narrowing economic opportunities. Each summer, many residents leave the island in search of work, leaving behind a population composed largely of the very young and the very old, while the island's vivid terrain continues its slow geological transformation, indifferent to human hardship. Nearby, Qishm Island presents a different scale of life. Larger than Bahrain and Singapore combined, it is Iran's largest island and the Middle East's only UNESCO global geopark. Its landscape is shaped by tectonic activity, creating features such as the Namakdan Salt Cave, recognized as the longest of its kind in the world. For its population of around 148,000 people, this environment is not just a backdrop, but a foundation for daily life. Qishm also preserves a deep maritime heritage. Traditional boat builders continue the construction of liege vessels, a craft recognized by UNESCO and passed down through generations. These boats reflect centuries of trade and cultural exchange across the Gulf. Yet modern pressures are evident. Rising temperatures, increasing tourism, and economic shifts toward mainland employment threaten both the environment and the continuity of these traditional practices. Further along the strait, Larak Island sits close to one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, through which millions of barrels of oil pass daily. Despite its strategic position, the island remains relatively undisturbed. Its waters are known for bioluminescence, where microscopic organisms emit a blue-green glow on calm nights. Homes here are built using compacted earth and coral, designed to regulate extreme temperatures without reliance on modern cooling systems. Limited development, shaped by geopolitical sensitivities, has allowed both its natural environment and fishing traditions to persist. Hangam Island, smaller and less developed, maintains a way of life that has changed little over centuries. Its shores shimmer with mineral-rich sands, and like Larak, its waters can glow at night with bioluminescent light. The island's economy is rooted in local practices, with women actively engaged in fishing and in crafting jewelry from shell waste. Cultural traditions, including the Zar ceremony, continue to play a role in community life. However, increasing tourist activity has begun to place pressure on its fragile ecosystem, disturbing marine life and leading to restrictions in certain areas. Kish Island offers a contrasting narrative. Located just off Iran's southern coast, it is both a historical site and a modern economic hub. Beneath its surface lies an ancient qanat system, engineered over 2,500 years ago to filter and store water in an environment with limited natural fresh water. Above ground, the ruins of Hara reflect earlier periods of trade and settlement. In recent decades, Kish has been transformed into a free trade zone, attracting millions of visitors annually. This dual identity highlights a tension between sustainable infrastructure developed for survival and modern systems designed for consumption and growth. To the west, Lavon Island represents another shift. Once reliant on pearl diving, its economy changed dramatically after the global pearl market declined in the early 20th century. Today, Lavon is defined by oil extraction, its natural landscape existing alongside industrial operations. This transformation reflects a broader regional pattern, where traditional livelihoods have been replaced by resource-driven industries. Shidvar Island, uninhabited and isolated, plays a different role. Known for its population of Persian horned vipers, it remains largely untouched by human activity. These conditions have allowed it to become an important nesting ground for the critically endangered hawksbill sea turtle, with its natural ecosystem acting as a form of protection. Beyond the immediate region of the strait, environmental challenges reflect the broader pressures facing Iran's landscape. Lake Urmia, once the second largest hypersaline lake in the world, has lost over 90% of its volume since the mid-1990s. This decline has been driven by human infrastructure decisions, including dam construction, water diversion for agriculture, and reduced natural inflows. The resulting changes have altered the lake's color and composition, illustrating how large-scale environmental systems can be reshaped by development choices. Across these islands and landscapes, a consistent pattern emerges. The Strait of Hormuz is not only a passage for energy, but a point where global demand intersects with local realities. Its waters carry immense economic value, yet the communities living along its edges often face environmental stress, economic limitation, and uncertain futures. In this narrow stretch of sea, the forces of geology, history, and geopolitics meet. It is a place where ancient landscapes support modern economies, where global dependence is concentrated into a fragile corridor, and where the consequences of disruption would extend far beyond its shores.